Thank y'all for tuning in to Transform. I have a special guest. He's no stranger to me, but I built up a relationship with this man right here. He came a mighty long way, literally from my God, Chino.
Yeah.
My God, that's far. But he's from Chino. This man right here, he been through a lot. I want him to tell you his story and not me tell you his story. But thank you for tuning in to Transform. I thank all you guys for subscribing. I thank you guys for all your likes and your comments. Man, it's a blessing, man, because it's not me, man. It's what God said to do. So, John, thanks for coming through to Transform. So, how can I put this? My question is to you, John, as you know that this podcast is called Transform. So who is John, first and foremost? Let me just ask that question.
Man, John's like a very loving person. I got a big heart. Okay. You know, I'll take my shirt off my back for a complete stranger, you know?
Okay.
But it wasn't always like that. You know, that was God's love and God's power that kind of changed my life, you know? I'm very, like, to myself sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people say, like, oh, man, I don't really... You know, he doesn't really talk a lot, but when I get to know you, then some people tell me, man, he won't be quiet, you know, because, like, I'm really good with my words. I'm a very, like, articulate person.
Okay.
Like, I know how to finesse. I know how to sound really educated. Sometimes, you know, I just played the, you know, kind of dumb role, kind of the dumb one in the room, but, like, I was the type of person that just sit back and I love to study people.
Okay.
Like, I have to, you know, check the temperature of the room before I get in there, you know, just to feel the vibe out, like, because I have, like, a really big gift with discernment.
Okay.
So, like, I know when, like, say, for instance, somebody were to get high or something, like, I just know, you know?
Yeah.
But who John is, man, John is what God made me. You know, I honestly, since I came up here, I only went by the name John, either incarcerated in jail or in school. Nobody knew me as John. Nobody knows me as John down where I live. Like, my family still calls me Ricky.
That's heavy.
And so when they chop it up, like, oh, hey, Ricky, and then, like, I have the people around me where God transformed me and know me till this day, like, they know my testimony and stuff. They're like, who's Ricky? And I'm just like, man, you don't want to know Ricky.
Yeah.
You don't want to know Ricky, you know?
Yeah.
But, man, it's just, I think it was just the things that I've went through that I've overcame that made me the person I am today.
Okay.
You know?
You just said a key word, overcame. Because, John, I seen you overcome some things. Just like what you just said, I'm very similar. I observe people because all these years of 23 years, just observing, you know what I mean? Like, and I seen you at your ups, and I don't know if you remember when I bought you that leather, I think it was a leather something for your car. Remember?
Yeah, the key holder.
The key holder, right?
Yeah. I still got that.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it.
But I did that because I felt how you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't just, what does it call? I don't cash my swine too early. You know what I mean? I just don't bless a person. But I seen, and that was at Union City. That was at the Union City Nights Out, right?
Yeah.
That was what we was doing in our...
It was at the BART station.
It was at the BART station, right? And they was doing the...
little rally.
The little rally and all that stuff. And you was amazed, and I remember today, because you was amazed that I did it. You was like, oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
How much do I owe you? Like, John, this dude was asking me like, hey, bro, would you? Okay, how much do I owe you? I was like, bro, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. For real? Like, yeah, don't worry about it, because I always seen in certain people, like what you just said. I learned how to become a chameleon, just like you. And I observed that about you. You know how to blend in. You know what I mean? Be that chameleon and just, I'm in here, I'm out here. Woo. Yeah. And I respect that about you, because this man right here is a hard worker, man. Not just in the ministry, but in life. His certain people, I don't know what people, but certain people, you can watch their life from the outside. Mm-hmm. And then you, like, I see your life, how you operates with your daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Not just with the church, but outside of the church. Because some people will start becoming religious and not have a relationship, if that makes sense. But you have a relationship. I see that in you. And that's why I wanted you to come to Transform, because Transform is about what, and this is a question I'm going to ask you, not just who's John, but what makes John John. Like I know what makes me Derek, but what makes John John? What give you that zeal of, I can't give up, I can't throw in the towel, I got to come out of this? Because we go through our lives, you know what I mean? We go through life things, right? Mm-hmm. And from us going through life things, we go through that time of, okay, I'm done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm shrinking. Yeah. You might be smiling in your face. Hey, all right, now, come on down. I got you, Brad. What's up with it? Yeah. But inside, you're like, I'm done. Yeah. So what keeps John keep going, pushing? I know it's God. Yeah. I get that. But what makes John keep pushing?
Man, I mean, we could probably start like all the way from like the root of like where it all started. Okay. You know, like, I mean, I got a heavy testimony. I just don't really I don't put it all out there for everybody, because like me, myself too, I could be judgmental at times and stuff, but I learned like giving people benefit of the doubt, you know? Mm-hmm. So like, man, it probably started like when I was like really young. Mm-hmm. When I was really young, like me, I'm the single sibling of my mom and my dad. So I'm the only child from them. Mm-hmm. And in my younger years, my mom remarried to my well, I got six brothers. I got 6 brothers, no sisters. You know, sheesh. They're all from different dads. Or I got 6. 2. Well, it's just 2 sets of dads, or 2 sets of dads, and then I got a lot of stepdads.
Okay, I understand. I got you.
So I got 2 my littlest brothers. That's Noah and man, I gotta remember all their names, man. That's a lot of names, dude. It's a lot. It's Noah and Andrew are my 2 littlest brothers. Then I got Isaac and Damien. Those are like my mid-level brothers, and then the ones that are older is Adrian and Christian. Okay. So when I was younger, when my mom remarried to my brother's dad, his name was Daniel, and that was for Adrian and Christian. Okay. Those are the ones that like I grew up with the most, you know? Okay. Man, being a stepchild is really hard. Like, especially like, I don't know if he was doing drugs back then when he was messing around with my mom and stuff, but like I would always remember them fighting and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, when I was younger, I used to get molested a lot by him. Mm-hmm. So like, and total of my life, I've been molested like 3 or 4 times. Jesus. Wow. So like, wow. And he did it till like, when I was able to understand like right from wrong, mm-hmm. you know? Mm-hmm. So, and then I'm also like a really good writer.
Okay.
Like I used to always score like 4s on my high school exit exams and things like that, but it was a punishment that I had from him in my younger years. He would make me write sentences. Like whenever I got in trouble, he said, "I will not do this" or "I will not do that," and he used to give me like hundreds and hundreds of them. So I'd be like stuck in my room all day just writing these sentences, and like, man, that's. I mean, I look at it like maybe that's how I got good at writing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened for a while. Then my mom ended up divorcing him. And like I really didn't talk about it with her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I got really good memory. I can remember all the way back to like preschool days.
Gee whiz.
Like I can remember like days in kindergarten, like when I was riding the little tricycle with the little 2 lanes, and I can remember all those days. Like there's like vivid memories, and I don't know it's because of what happened, but like certain like memories just pop up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got with the next guy, he was just like a jerk in total. Like never really respected me. We would always be fighting. I remember one time I stole his car and just went like joyriding with my friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like when that happened, I ended up getting in like a fist fight with him. Mm. So that kind of like introduced me to like violence more. Like I would get in like street fights here and there, but like with him putting on hands on me, it kind of like I don't know, like I like violence. Like it got me to like I like pain. Like I like the hurt. So she was with him for a cool minute. You know, I did all right in life, but I was still young. And I was still dealing with like my own hurts and how it was going. So after that happened, I think it was like around the age of like 16. 16 is when I stuck a paper in my room, like, cause my mom chose her new husband like over me. She wouldn't really like listen to me. She wouldn't like take like to heart what I was going on or how I felt about the situation. So I ran away from home at 16, and I went to go stay with one of my friend Chris's. Because I had three best friends. They're all named Chris.
Wow.
3 best friends are all named Chris, and we were always together all the time. But I remember like just packing up a duffel bag of all my clothes, and then I just wrote on a piece of paper, "I'm never coming back," and stuck it on the wall. And I was out on the streets from 16 to like 18. And like my mom would go look for me in the streets. She would like, she knew where I kick it at in my hiding spots, but every time I see her pull up, she would like try to pull over and get me in the car, and I would run away. I would just kept running away. And like the friend that I chose to stay with, Chris, his mom was a crystal meth addict. Oh. Wow. So like she let us do whatever we wanted there. It was like the party house.
Yeah.
You know, so like she would buy us beer, or we would have an Uncle Tom that he always kicked out on the porch, and we'd get him a couple of 40s, and you know. But it was in his room one day where I guess they were weighing out, like they were doing a deal or something. So they always asked us to step out of his room because his room was in the front of the house. So they were using, like, he had a computer desk with like a sound system. He had like a banging system. He had like 2 Stadium Cerwin-Baker 10s. Sheesh. Like you can hear his house from down the street. Whee! That's how the girls like coming over, you know? It was just a party house. Yeah. But I guess when they weighed the sack, they left one. They left like a whole, it was like an 8 ball on the desk. And me and him like went back in the room and we picked it up, and we're just like, man, what's this? You know, and then we just started tweaking out, dude. Like we started doing it, and then we would just write on paper for days, tagging on paper, writing on paper, you know. Wow. And you know, that led up to just me doing like a downward spiral, like for a cool minute in my life. You know, I got kicked out of like my mom's house various times. I never went back there until like my later years in life, but like I went to go stay with like my aunts. I tried staying with my dad for a little bit. You know, my dad, me and him really didn't have a relationship. He wasn't really around that much in my younger years. You know, like, I guess when I was younger, my mom's mom really didn't like him.
Mhm.
Like, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, or what they told me is like, I think they almost paid him to stay away from me.
Wow.
You know,
That's crazy.
they wanted to pay him like $5,000 to
That's
stay away from me
mad.
because they didn't like him.
That's mad.
So like, after the younger years and after later on, like, I re-met up with a girl that I took her virginity with in junior high.
Okay.
Her name was Heather. That's my baby mama.
Okay.
Like, man, and I love this girl. Like, she was super cool, you know. She was like a spitting image of me. Like, hustle wise, like,
wow.
Street cred, you know,
Wow.
about getting things done. Like, so like, man, that was a pretty rocky point in my life too, because then I was slanging like pounds of marijuana. I was starting to dip in like pounds of meth and messing with biker gangs and all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, man, this is starting to get crazy. So I was running around with her for a while when we re-met back up like 10 years later. And I was just like, hey, she's like, yeah, dude, you're the one that took my virginity. And I was like, in the back of the van at my homie's house. And it's just like, yeah. And I was just like, man, this is a small world. I was like, where you been at all my life?
Yeah.
You know, so, but it was always like, leading me back. Cause like, I think, the biggest turning point in my life was when I got in a fight with my father.
Okay.
Like, we got in a fist fight.
Your biological father.
Yeah, my biological father. Like,
Okay.
I went to go stay. Well, let me rewind back a little bit. I was staying with my mom for a little bit, but I started messing around, and my mom was just fed up with it. She was just like, man, you know what? I've been saving money, and she just randomly picked up and moved to Mexico one day.
Wow.
Left me in an abandoned house. She was just like,
wow.
I mean, she asked me to help. I helped her load stuff up in there, but like after when the house is empty, she's like, well, what are you going to do now? You can't stay here. You know? Wow. And I was just like,
wow.
I remember that night I cried myself to sleep, and I was already like 20 something years old though. I remember I cried myself to sleep in that empty house, like just like wondering like, man, what am I going to do? So that's when I hit my dad up. And I went to go stay with my dad for a little bit, and he's just like, man, what happened? I was just like, my mom moved to Mexico.
Yeah.
Just like that. Like, she bounced. Like, after she packed up the house, she left, like, that day. Left to Mexico. She lives all the way in Oaxaca.
Well, what?
Oaxaca.
Never. That's in Mexico?
That's way down there in Mexico.
I don't know what that is.
So.
Wow, Oaxaca.
Yeah, Oaxaca.
Wow, that's crazy.
So,
man.
I mean... she was a really hard worker though, you know. She was just tired of working. You know, she saved up. They built a house down there. She got like all these little animals and things like that. But when I got in a fight with my dad, I was staying with him. I was already messing around, you know. That was just like my rock bottom right there.
Yeah.
Because like I never thought that I would fist fight with my dad, and like I did it in front of my little brothers. And his ex-wife, or I don't know what terms they're on right now, but because I was staying there with her without him there. He was staying like renting a room in Pomona or something. And when we fought that day though, she was just like, man, that's it. Like, my dad told me to get out, she told me to get out. And I went to a Metrolink, and I slept at the Metrolink for like a couple, like the train station, for like a couple of nights. I mean, she like gave me a blanket and things like that. But I was just like, I literally slept on the benches there for like a couple of nights, and then I was just like, man, this is getting whack.
Yeah.
So like one day I met this like random group of people. It was this girl and this other dude, I think he was like Filipino or something, and they were just like, hey man, let's go be homeless at the beach. And I was like, what?
That's
yeah, like who does that? Like, are you guys like nomads or something? Like, is this like you guys just do this yearly? Is it like that time of the season to go to the beach or something?
Yeah.
So I hopped on the train with him.
Okay.
But the guy that was there was a guy and girl. The guy that was there, he's like, man, we gotta make a quick stop in Upland. And that's where, like, I grew up. That's, like, where, like, I knew everybody, you know? So he's like, man, I got to stop in Upland because I got to go pick up some money or these shoes that I gave to this guy. He owes them to me. Because, like, down there, like, at the Metrolink spots, like, boom, you could just take a Metrolink to each city. And when you get off in that city, it's just, like, you got, like, your regular random people that always kick it there, that turn up, they get high, they get drunk. So it's like, if you get bored in one city, you just hop on the Metrolink and go to the next city.
That's crazy.
So we stopped there in Upland, and I was like, man, dude, I was just like, I felt like I was back at home. Like, I felt like a calmness over me, over that fight that happened with my dad and stuff. So, man, and then, like, right when I get off the train, I was like, I see one of my childhood friends there. Like, he was my best friend in 6th grade. And he was there, like, homeless too, though. Or he wasn't homeless, like, he lived with his mom and stuff, but he preferred always to be on the street. And he's just like, what's up, dude? And then it just turned into a quick stop, and that's where I became homeless for, like, 2 years.
Wow.
2 years there.
Wow.
So, and then, like, me, I'm like, I'm a hustler. Like, like, I'm not going to sit there and not go get an EBT card, get an Obama phone. Like, you know, so I had a tent. Like, I literally lived on the side of a freeway overpass. Like, not like where the bridge is at, but like up there they have like these washes.
Okay.
So it's like a concrete, like, there's like a big thing, and then you got like the side of the freeway and then the freeway down there. And then you got this top part that just like dips in. So it's like, it's called the wash, but down this wash you had like, I don't know, 15 to 20 homeless people living in one spot.
Sheesh.
All with different tents.
Sheesh.
You know, like, and I was just like, that's like when I think the devil had me locked in right there. Like, I just felt like that's where I was supposed to be, you know? So, and then of course then, like, that's when I like really started getting heavy into doing dope. Like, I started slamming it. Like,
all that package deal that you just packaged, that was not little suitcase. That was like a jet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's a jet full of people right there. But thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you, man. I thank you for opening up like you did, because this is what it's about, man. It's about your life. You know what I mean? It's about life stories of how, like, you made it this far and you're not going back, because you made it this far, and by you making it this far, sky's the limit. You know what I mean? This man right here, powerful, man. But I know I don't want to keep going. I don't want to keep going, but thank you again, man. This is all transformed, man. Thank you for subscribing. For the ones that's watching, thank you for watching. But until we meet again, man, let's do this, man. Let's do this together. I thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.